I'm doing a camp in Maine and on a quick break, and I just had a parent give me a nice compliment and said, I like the way that you keep the kids busy, but you never raise your voice. So that's the reason I call this clip Scream Free Coaching. Scream Free Coaching. It's kind of a trademark of our academy and our camps and clinics and the handful of coaches who coach for us. That's something that we constantly strive to do. And we don't deliver punishment push-ups. If you're organized, you don't have to scream at the kids or or give punishment push-ups or sprints. All of that's a waste of time. So too often, just like a parent who's constantly screaming at their kid, it oftentimes it's a lack of poor parenting skills, and sometimes that's the case in coaching too. And I think some of us are maybe high energy people, and maybe you might be a far better coach and trainer than me. And you might be a person that raises your voice, but I think generally the coaches who lose it a lot are the ones who just need to slow down and get more organized. So if you get organized and you can keep the wrestlers busy, we call it putting the workers to work. And if you have our DVD series, you've seen that phrase. We also call it under teach and over drill. We divide up our kids into categories. We have our beginners. We have our phase one kids, our phase one, phase two kids, and then our elite kids, which we enter our phase three DVD series. And so, you say, well, that's the reason why I don't do beginners camps, because if I did beginners camps, no one would sign up, because every dad and parent and mom out there would say, I don't want to do that. I want to send my kid to the advanced camp. Well, really, you're doing the kids a disservice. And so, we've had some beginners this, beginners that, and it never worked because no one wants to do it. But really, from a coaching standpoint, we have a system of drill routines, and you should write that down. Drill routines. If you have drill routines from various positions and you only focus on those drill routines, your practices will be like this. Time. Number 2, get set. Ready? 2-minute go. Go. Right? And you break it down, you teach it, you get the kids going, we put the workers to work. My goal, too oftentimes when you do camps, and I used to do this too when I was younger, I would work harder than the kids. The kids spent more time circled up, sitting on their butt, watching me talk and drill than they did. My goal is to talk and drill about, 90 seconds and then get them to put the workers to work as fast as possible. So being organized, number 1. Number 2, being organized, and we like to say under teach over drill. And again, that's on our system series. You've read that in our manuals. I almost hate saying it here because people might maybe take it the wrong way. But under teach over drill. You're doing, if you have 7 different stand-ups in your beginner's room, you are doing the kids a disservice. And you say, well, it's good for them to know this. Yeah, but if you were in a communist country where you abduct kids and you can practice with them 3 times a day for 2.5 hours year round, sure, you could have a massive drill routine that includes all 7 stand-ups, and you can have the first year kid who's 14 years old or who's 9 years old, and you can drill them on everything. We have limited time. So yes, you're doing a disservice, because now I'm dividing up my wrestler, who I only have maybe on the mat 2 times a week for 4 months a year. Or if you're a high school coach, you only have, a handful of practices a week. Sure, you have 6 practices a week, but after the first 3 weeks of season, you have a dual meet on Tuesday, you have a tournament Friday night, you have a tournament Saturday, no practice Sunday. You only have 3 practices a week. You're no different than the Little League coach, really, after the first few practices. So even you guys need to take the under teach over drill approach. And so you say, well, we're going to cover the best 2 stand-ups, and we're going to hit 4,000 of these before state. That's much better than dividing up these kids' precious drill time that's very limited around too much of a drilling curriculum. Notice I didn't say half Nelson or spin drill, right? This is not basic wrestling that we do. Sure, in the beginners format, if I was a beginner's coach, for a year, I volunteered to coach a little league team of 6-year-olds as a sort of a way to do some legwork and research, I guess, to be a guinea pig so that I can put our beginners DVD series out. But that's what we did there too. Is we did drill half Nelson, a spin drill, and all that, obviously. But as far as the focus of under teach over drill, it's not super basic. So let's get beyond that. These kids need to know how to wrestle. All right, there's 9-year-olds who are unbelievable. There's high school freshmen who are coming in who could beat college wrestlers, and you got to compete against those kids. So when we talk about under teach over drill, if you didn't want to use our system of beginner phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, you can come up with your own format, but don't get too basic. But don't have 7 stand-ups for your JV team either. You just have 2. And then maybe your advanced kids, you can have 4 stand-ups. And then maybe the kids who train in the off season, another 8 months a year, you can spend time with the other great stand-ups, and you can kind of pick up the pieces at the end. But if you want to be a scream-free coach, you want to be able to put the workers to work quickly, be organized and systematic. Another good thing we like to do is we like to demonstrate what right looks like. That's a military phrase. I always, and this is a demo in our How to Coach Wrestling part of our DVD series as well, that some of you are familiar with. We have kids demonstrate, and I say, hey, Brandon, hit underhook throw by, hit 5, go. Good, Trevor, hit 5, go. Go again. All right, and then now the kids have a clear indication. For a coach to blow the whistle, throw his clipboard down and say, okay, everybody do push-ups. You're not working hard enough. Show them what working hard looks like, right? And I had a military drill, he was a drill sergeant, pretty tough dude. His son was in my room years ago. He was like, how come you do that? And I said, well, I just hate telling kids to work hard. I just want them to have a video clip. Because I can't learn anything unless I see it or do it. I think in pictures and videos, I can remember anything when I have that, or if I do something. But just for someone to say something or to read something, it doesn't always work. And a lot of us learn that way. And I think it's valuable as a coach to have a kid drill and then have everybody watch and say, this is how we need to drill. If you don't drill like that, it's wrong. Now they know when you say work hard, you say, hey, drill like Brandon and Trevor. And then you pull some other kids up who are doing it. And then you do that a couple times of practice, and over the course of time, your kids start to take pride in being the kids that work. You take pride in being an organized coach. There is no screaming. There's no punishment push-ups. There's no time wasted. And our goal with our coaches training is simply this: you want to be able to run your program. You don't want the program to run you. And too oftentimes our program runs us. At the end of practice, we're stressed out. We didn't get enough done. We got a dual meet this weekend. The kids didn't look good. And by the end of season, you're frustrated and you feel like you don't have enough results. You feel like you need more time with the kids. But if you would make the wrestling maybe a little bit smaller and get more reps and maybe learn to put the workers to work easier or quicker, I think you would have a lot more success. I envision in my head this almost every time when I pull into a parking lot for a camp or clinic or for our academy kids. I want to burn the rubber off of the soles of their shoes. You can only do that if their feet are moving. If your kids' feet aren't moving constantly, then you've got some work to do. And if you're a coach who gets frustrated, like I did when I first started coaching high school, I was horrible. But by year 2, I got better. By year 3, I just said, this isn't working. And I decided to become very organized and very systematic. Then by the 4th year, I think I was pretty good. Then I moved off to Missouri 19 years ago, and I've been coaching on my own. But, as far as scream-free coaching, think about those type of ideas, being very organized, putting the workers to work, demonstrate what right looks like, under teach over drill, divide up your drill routines based upon the experience level of the kids. Don't deviate. Don't add to it. Just stick it, because instead of saying, well, these 2 stand-ups look good, let's add 2 more. No. Season's only half over. We want to get 4,000. We only have 2,000. Don't add more stand-ups. We haven't hit 4,000 yet. So don't kind of go against the program and add to it. Stick with the program. Stick with your drill routine, and I guarantee you that once you start to enjoy success, and your program starts to run itself a little bit, and you don't have to feel like you're chasing your tail around, the whole program will just start to evolve and take off, because now kids are excited. They're getting better. When they get better, they want to wrestle in off season. You're not fighting them to wrestle in off season. They're having fun. The team's winning. Other kids are tapping you on the shoulder. They want to be involved. You have middle school parents contacting you because they want to be involved with the running program. People are talking about how good your kids are. So now you might have a couple kids say, "Hey, we're gonna move over and train with you." We keep hearing how great you're doing. It's just kind of like a machine that just starts to take off. I have a good phrase that says, winning solves all problems. And once you can start this success machine, it takes on a life of its own. And then, your coaching starts to get a whole lot more fun too. So there's some good advice for scream-free coaching, and hopefully it resonates and it helps you that have watched this. Check us out at perlerwrestling.com. And you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. We'll keep throwing some videos up if you keep watching them. Thanks.